Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I just dropped the boys off at the daycare. I'm headed to work right now. I have to I installed rate and section control on a sprayer for a customer. It's actually my seed dealer, and so I got to run over there. He's got that full of water. We need to run through make sure everything works, and show him how to use it. And then I'm gonna go get the flatbed trailer. The pastures aren't quite ready for the cows, so I'm gonna have to go get another bale for them to tide them over for a couple weeks until the pastures are ready for them, and then we'll head out to the farm. I want to get the field cultivator hooked up and get that worked on. Maybe get Dad started working some ground, get some rocks picked, probably hook the planter back up, get working on that, and I'm hoping that Sunday or Monday we can get started planting. There's the sprayer. Alright, well, when you have a job in town to support your farming habit, sometimes things don't go as planned. So it's finally almost 4 o'clock. I had the day off today. I was coming out here early, and about the only thing I've gotten done so far today is I did pick up a couple bales of hay for the cows. So now I'm finally out at the farm, and we're going to start working on the field cultivator and planter and all that good stuff. So on this front bar, you can see there's a huge gap. There's one missing there, there's one missing right there, one missing up there. Last fall on the leveler, on the chisel plow, I broke some of those S shanks. You can see there's one broken. So I grabbed some of the shanks off the field cultivator and threw them on here to get me by. So I'm going to take those off so we can put them back on. We need them. It's time to use them. So it's pretty easy, just this 3/4 inch wrench. Just loosen these up. Okay, so you just loosen that bolt up, and this whole piece will come right off of there. It's harder than it looks with one hand. There we go. So, just gonna grab those other two. We'll put them back on the field cultivator. Or if you live in Minnesota, I guess they call it a digger. I don't know about that. Alright, got a couple problems. This is the one I realized is flat. I just drove it over here because it wasn't very far, but it popped the bead, pulled the valve stem for the tube in, so I'm going to pull that tire off, see if I can get the tube spun around, straighten back up in there, get that thing aired up. Might have to get a new tube. That guy, you can see that, she needs a bearing. So, gotta tear that apart, Get some bearings for that. That looks fun. Man, there's a lot of play in that. But we'll get a bearing for that, and then start going through, inspecting shovels. That's a decent shovel. I think that one was new last year. But then you get guys like this. He needs a new bushing up in there, otherwise they just walk back and forth. So go through, figure out which bushings we need to replace, which shovels we need to replace, and I'm gonna get this guy rolling tomorrow. Get Dad working some ground. Alright, so I got the bearings apart and called our AGCO implement dealer where we get our parts for that Glencoe soils field cultivator, and they had the bearings. I'm not totally convinced they have all the bearings, because I kept saying, okay, do you have the bearings for the hub and for the walking tandem? And he's like, yes, this is for the walking tandem. Oh, there's Bob, or his boys. And I kept asking him, okay, for the walking tandem and the hub, right? Yes, this is for the walking tandem. He said, did you need the hub? No, I don't need the hub. I just need the bearings for the hub and for the walking tandem. So we went back and forth like this like 10 times, and I'm still not convinced. So we will see what's there when I get there. So that's where I'm headed right now. Gonna run and grab those bearings, get back, clean up that hub, and and the races and the seals, got it all. They had it, so I'm gonna go grab that stuff. Then we'll get back to the farm and get that put back together, and then we'll start working on shovels and hopefully get that all done tonight. Oh, I won't get it all done tonight. There's a bad tube in the one tire, so in the morning I will run and grab a tube and get that. So hopefully everything except that tire will get done tonight, and then in the morning it'll be ready to roll. There's my parts. Let's see what we got. Erase. Oh, that's not enough parts. I knew they didn't get the right things. The farm truck got the Corona. Alright, I tried putting air in this tube and it's got a pretty good hole in it, so we gotta grab a tube. Everything's closed tonight. there's no place I can go get a tube, so I'll get that first thing in the morning. And then then when I went and got the bearings, they give me the bearings for the hub. They did not give me the bearings for the walking tandem, so I am going to start cleaning this all up, get all the old grease and everything off of it. And I got the bearings for that, so I'll probably put that together and put that on, and then start tearing those apart. Alright, so I put the bearing races in the freezer right on top of a nice brisket there, and I didn't think about, I forgot to do this earlier, so I'm just going to let them stay in here overnight, and I'm going to go ahead in the morning, come back, warm up that hub, and then try and push these races down in there. Well, good morning. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. We're headed back out to the farm to work on the field cultivator, or if you're from Minnesota, the digger. I don't know, that's such an odd name for a field cultivator, but I guess, you know, Minnesotans, it's alright. It's kind of fun to say, digger. Anyway, we're headed out there, and got to get a couple parts first, get an inner tube, get some bearings for the walking tandem, and we'll get that put together hopefully today. And then we got our guy that does our tiling and our dirt work. He called me this morning, said he's coming out to fix the washout we've had since we planted last spring, so get that done. It'd be nice. Hopefully we get that done before I start planting. I don't have to plant around it. So, and yeah, we got lots of work, but hopefully we can start doing some field work today. We are headed back to our AGCO dealer again this morning, see if we can get the rest of those bearings that they didn't give us last night for the walking tandem on the field cultivator, or henceforth digger. I just like it, digger. Alright, so we are here. Alright, just stopped out at our AGCO dealer, and they didn't have the bearings or the seals. They just got bought by Cat, another Cat dealer in the area, so they're not stocking the parts that they don't sell quite as often anymore until that, you know, transaction takes place. So that's what they told me. They could order them, otherwise they would have had them in stock, restocked them. Somebody bought them like a week ago, and but they called around to another dealer and they have them, so I'm going to call them right now, see if I can get them to pay for them over the phone and set them out and send my dad over there to get them so I can start working while he's going to get parts. Well, I don't have the right tools for the job, but I got a bunch of bars, and we're going to try and get this inner tube into that tire. I was really hoping that tire would make it through the spring, but put the new tube in, put air in it, and it popped. Or it's got a hole. I'm guessing there's a cord or something sticking on the inside, and that keeps popping or poking a hole in the tube. It's just a slow letting air back out. So I'm gonna call a tire shop and see if they have a tire and run that down and get that fixed. There we go, a couple nice frozen races. Okay, I'm going to warm this up just a little bit. Actually, we'll just see how these fit before I warm it up. Well, they're close. They might go in without warming that up. Look at that. It might go right in. Well, that went really quick. That race went in. It started without even tapping on it at all. I set the bearing in it, just tapped on it real lightly with a regular hammer, and it got most of the way there. There was just a tiny little gap. It wasn't fully seated, so I took the punch and just lightly tapped it in a couple spots, and it's fully seated now. That was about the easiest I've ever put in a race before, so we'll see how this side does, and hopefully they don't spin. They'll stay in there real nice, but they should, since they were frozen, they should be contracted enough that once they warm up to the temperature, same temperature as the hub, they should be in there nice and solid. Okay, we got the bearings and races out of the walking tandem, and it was a pain getting those races out, but got them out, got that cleaned up. I got the races in the freezer. They've been in there, I don't know, about 3 hours now probably, so I think they're ready to go in. I'm to the point where I need this so I can raise the field cultivator so I can get the shovels in the center section, and then it will be ready to go. So I'm going to get those races and try and put them in here and get this back together. So I had all my new bolts for these shovels in this brown paper bag, and I was taking all the old ones off and throwing them in this bucket. I thought it was a pretty good plan to keep them separate like that, but apparently my 2-year-old didn't like that plan. Well, it's starting to get dark, so there's more work I could do on this, but I'm done. I got everything buttoned up, and we're going to go with it. If stuff breaks, we'll just fix it as we go along. So I'm going to fold this up. I'm going to pull out here. That's our sweet corn patch. I'm going to go work that, make sure everything's working good, and then we'll park this for the night and start working on the planter tractor. Alright, this is the first time we've ever run steering on this, So I've never measured how wide this is. Oh! I need a longer tape measure apparently. Okay, we are 14 to there. I'm going to count that as my working width. So we are 11, 25, we'll call it 26 feet. I think that'll work about perfect for the GPS. Alright, so we found our first casualty when I raised the planter. Oh, it's not going to do it now. We blew a hydraulic hose right over there. Well, you can see I'm not imagining things. I doused everything. There's a crack in that hose right there. So that's, oh, it's the wing cylinder. That's why I wasn't seeing it. Okay, so it's on the wings for folding. Oh, we got a little leak right up there on that one. So, well, in the morning I will call my buddy and have him make me a hose, and we'll throw that on there. We'll be back in business. Okay, it's been a long day and I don't remember what I did or didn't record, so I'm going to give a recap. Basically, that tandem right there, I went to get the bearings for the tandem because we got the bearings for the hub last night, and I went to get the bearings for the tandem. They didn't have it in my local parts dealer, so they called another dealer. They had it. I sent my dad over there. Then I had gone and got a tube for this tire right here, and I put that tube in, and the tube got a hole in it immediately, and that tire was pretty well dry rotted and junk, so I called one of the local tire shops, and he had the tire, so I ran down there, put a new tire on. Came back, we threw those races in the freezer, got that all back together. This shank right here, the bushing right up there was completely gone. So I took that apart and I was trying to get it apart. It fought me. I was beating on it with the hammer. I couldn't get it out. Trying to cut it with the Sawzall. That wasn't working. Torched one side off. Basically spent way more time than it was worth for that one shank right there. Threw it back together, put it back on, and said screw it. There's more shanks on here that need the bushings replaced, but I'm just gonna go with it and call it good. If they break, we'll fix them. If not, we'll just keep going. This field cultivator has seen its better days, but it works. It's all we got, so that's what we're using. And now it's ready to roll, so I'm going to start working on the planter tractor. I'm going to do some stuff on that tonight yet, and then we got our tiling dirt guy. He's going to be here tomorrow, so I'm going to have to go put the rock bucket on the skid loader, run out there, pick a bunch of rock where he's going to be working, scoop up some sand out of the field, and where that washout is, and I'll get video of that tomorrow, what we're doing over there. But for right now, I'm going to start working on this tractor, finish putting the cab back together, and
yeah, I got a list of stuff that needs done.
Thanks everyone for watching, and see you next time.